Some nice, cool music going into the intro there. Everybody, welcome to the Arkansas Diamond Report with Dudley Dawson. I'm Jason Pattison. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hog fans are able to kind of sit back, kick their heels up, enjoy a little bit of extra baseball. Your Razorbacks have taken care of business this last weekend. 3 straight, 1 over North Dakota State, 2 over Creighton. And Dudley, I would say it was probably the most dominating performance Arkansas's had in a regional in quite some time.
Absolutely. When you include the fact that they won all 3 games they played, that hadn't happened, in the last few years. A lot has been made out of the narrative, and Coach Van Horn touched on it, last night, and I think the night before as well. It was last night, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite a pitching performance, quite an offensive performance, and played well defensively. 20 strikeouts and 0 walks. You'll take that every day. And I don't know that there's probably many teams, if any, who have ever taken 20 walks or just spanned 20 batters and not walked anybody that have lost.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Dave's been talking about over the last couple of weeks, where this team is a more complete team that he's had in quite some time. And it's not that Hog fans didn't believe him. It was the fact that Hog fans were kind of like, okay, we hear it, but we need to see it. And they saw it this weekend.
Yeah, and we're writing the story here. We knew, I think we all knew from the time that those brackets came out when Tennessee wasn't announced early and Arkansas was announced the 3rd seed, that Tennessee might be the 14th seed. Obviously, Tennessee leading right now as we're doing this 8-4 in the 6th inning. As a writer, the narrative Arkansas versus Tennessee is fantastic for me and others. To have a villain come here, Tennessee and Tony V fit that mold. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing whether it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll probably find that out not too long after the game, and I'm guessing that the defending national champ and the top remaining seed left in the tournament probably won't be getting afternoon games. They'll probably be prime time at night.
Yeah, those are going to be probably 6, 7, 8 games. I would like to see personally.
By the way, 8 sucks. 8 p.m. games suck.
Yeah, they do. Gosh.
No, dude, 8 p.m. games suck.
I want everybody to note that, because I'm telling you, it was rough. It was rough. Oh my God, it was rough, because you had 8 p.m. on Saturday, you had 8 p.m. 7 p.m. Saturday, 8 p.m. Sunday. Regardless of the fact, not going to argue kind of the way that Kevin O'Sullivan did this weekend, but whenever you have a little bit of a time change, it kind of worked out best case scenario for Hog fans, because you didn't have back-to-back 8 p.m. games, and now you're going into 4 days of rest. So I think that as writers, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, those are perfect.
But there was a lot of stuff that got done around the house today, and outside with no ball game today. I don't root for teams, but I root for me to be off, and that worked out well today. We'll see what plays itself out here. I think that if it is Tennessee, obviously it's going to be a great series. If it's not, Wake Forest will have come back from a big-time rally. Jumped out 2-0, then went down 8-2. They're now got a runner at second base, so they're trying to hang in there. But I'm just looking forward to what the weekend brings.
I hate to say it this way, but if Hog fans get the draw, or if Arkansas gets the draw of having a Saturday, Sunday, Monday game, I think Hog fans are probably going to lose their mind a little bit, because they feel like it's more of giving Tennessee a little bit of a leg up to have that extra day of rest versus catching them on basically 3 days rest.
That being said, you would allow your pitchers who all pitched really well, the opportunity to get another day's rest as well. But I see what they're saying. Tennessee is going to have enough issues traveling and finishing up this game tonight, traveling and all that. It's going to be one on the field. I don't think a day off here or there is going to figure it out. The Liam Doyle, unless he comes in here tonight, will have had plenty of rest. And, you pretty much didn't happen when the series was here in Arkansas 1-2-3, Liam Doyle versus Zach Root. You got to figure that's what's going to happen. But my goodness, Batesville's on.
Gage Wood.
Gabe last night. Good. Gabe Gackle coming in strong. You had some guys that didn't even pitch this weekend.
Yeah. Whose
arms will be fresh. And, I did like the comment from Gage about what were you thinking when you came off the field, after he ostensibly thrown his last pitch there in the sixth inning. I don't remember, man. That's when you're in the zone right there.
It is. And I love to see the fire that he had coming off the mound after that last strikeout too, because up until that point, I feel like everything was kind of building to a head for him. I mean, yeah, he had that one mistake that they took yard for a 3-run shot, cut that lead to 6-3. But I really feel like Arkansas was pounding the zone as far as batting wise goes. They were able to catch a lot of pitches and keep up with those pitches in the zone. They weren't fooled a lot, and also they were making great contact at the plate. And I think that that's something that Vitello and his guys, possibly looking a little forward, saw a little bit in 2 weeks ago. But now that they see that that consistency is staying with them, I think that that's got to not maybe scare them a little bit, but that's going to put them on notice.
Yeah, Andrew Fisher has hit a home run again tonight for Tennessee. I think that was his 23rd. He's a kid that fits right into the mold of what they're doing, slugging first baseman, and it's just it is the team. These Riley McDaniel from ESPN, these other experts, Keith Law and all that, give Tennessee the edge as far as amount of talent on a team that's major league ready or that's going to get taken in the major league draft and all that. I think that's there's a lot to be said for that. Arkansas has plenty as well, and Arkansas has some guys that like Ryder Helfrich, who is just on fire right now. I like he was. We didn't call it the pick to click, but he was my pick to click on the Big Trail Nation preseason or postseason special we did the other night, so that worked out pretty well. And I thought Gage Wood might pitch well as well. So I Nostradamus there,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, and that's the thing too. There were, if I'm not mistaken, I had to look that back up, but I do believe there was 5 total Razorbacks that made, or was it 5 or 6 that made the all-region team? And
Parker Cole with some big innings there as well that made it, even though he pitched a couple of 3 innings, I guess, but they were big.
They were big, and I think it was probably some of the biggest innings this entire weekend, because he follows Zach Root, goes in there, or after what Zach had did earlier in the game, and then he comes in and then gets the hold and all. I think he got a hold. Anyway, he did those couple of innings giving away to Colin Fisher to end the game. I think that it was imperative to have 9 arms ready, which Arkansas only needed 7 really for this weekend. But Arkansas has 9 arms ready to go at any point now, going into the Super Regional, knowing that you only have those 2 wins that you have to get, possibly playing a 3rd game, God forbid. But you got 9 arms fresh that he can use, plus some. But those 9 arms, I think, are the most imperative that Hog fans are looking at and saying, okay, this is what we have, this is what we're going into, and this is what he's depending on.
Yeah, I mean, there are reasons that again, the so-called experts have thought this might be Arkansas's best chance to win the national championship since the 2018 series where they came so close. But I just think the stage is set. Tennessee goes ahead and wins this ball game. Have the defending national champion here. You have the story of Coach Vitello being, a former assistant under Coach Van Horn, and then that would be the step you'd take to get back to Omaha. And if they get there, then I think they're going to be in really good shape. And let's be honest, I think the fact that Gage Wood pitched so great last night has a lot of people fired up about what they could get done once they get there. Now that third starter, it's still an ongoing situation, but if you need a third starter, then you're in good shape anyway.
Yeah, I think really they're in some great shape because you can interchange Beelshis and Jimenez at any point and say, okay, take the ball. You're looking good today. Go get them, type thing. I want to talk about the top 2 seeds that got knocked out this weekend. I think that there's been a lot of talk about it, but I don't think that there's been quite enough. One of the reasons why is because the Texas Longhorns got knocked out. Any day that they get knocked out of a NCAA tournament, and it doesn't matter what sport it is, to me, that's a great day in my book.
Yeah, and I think that's the vast majority of certainly the older fans in the state. The younger fans may be more about Ole Miss and Tennessee and those sort of things with the coaches and situations they have now. But certainly it was an interesting thing that was able to put them in the position to bring this thing home. And I sit here and I wonder if this is not the time. And they could go out this weekend and lose 2 games, but just sit here and wonder if this is not the time and this is not the stage that you needed. Arkansas played so well this weekend. Not really any mistakes, hardly at all. And are they finally playing in these past few years, playing their best at the end?
That's one of the things that a lot of fans have really longed for is Arkansas, the promise that they have at the first of the season, carry through the middle part of the season, which it's not that long of a season, but at the same time, it is a long season. But whenever you get to the end of May, the first part of June, the aspirations and the thoughts that people had back in February and March carry on through May and into June. Those are some things that fans really have wanted to feel again. And I feel like that, this team is delivering. This team is giving them everything that they have hoped for. You have Vanderbilt that gets knocked out. Hell, they didn't even make the regional final. You saw
Tim Corbin does a great job with Vandy there, but let's be honest, everybody is just thrilled. The freaking Whistler is not available anymore.
That's why I threw that in that tweet too. That not only is Vandy, but the Whistler has been eliminated from the NCAA tournament. The anguish that Tim Corbin had on his face whenever they got beat by Wright State yesterday, he took his hands, he kept combing them through his hair, his head was down. It almost looked like to me that he was really upset with the fact not that they got knocked out by a 4 seed, but the fact that they got knocked out as the number 1 seed. And I think that really kind of stung more than anything else for him.
Yeah, and I give them a lot of credit because when Arkansas swept them in Nashville earlier this year, they did not look anything like the program they did at the end of the year. That's a testament to his coaching, a testament to those players and their willingness to come back. But as Coach Van Horn was saying last night, you get to thinking you're too much and somebody will take you down a notch. And that's happened a lot this weekend. That happened to Vanderbilt, happened with Texas, UTSA. Mm-hmm. Boy, what a party I bet those kids had at that school last night.
Golly. Did you see that comment by Schlossnagle after the game last night? That was
he snuck in a gig-em there.
I did. Yes. Yeah. Gig 'em, hook 'em.
Old habits are hard to break, I guess. But he should have been done with that now. But between Kevin O'Sullivan getting all upset, I don't know. It's been a great look for the SEC so far. Ole Miss down 7 runs to Murray State right now. Murray State, moving on. It looks like the Tennessee lead is now 8-5 after 6 innings, and we'll see how they can close it out. I would imagine Lynn Doyle, who's already got his spikes on, as they noted, is if needed for that 8th and 9th, will probably be there.
And speaking of 4 seeds, you've got Little Rock taking on LSU tonight, prime time. It's going to get on at 8 o'clock tonight on ESPN2. and then another 4 seed Miami taking on Southern Miss. I don't know when the last time that there have been so many 4 seeds at the end of these regionals, not only playing with a little bit of confidence, but really with a little bit more swagger.
Yeah, and let's be honest, a 4th seed in the NCAA regional is truly a Cinderella for being there. They get on a run, maybe win their conference title, or some of them obviously may be in a power conference that finished low but still got in. But I think we saw it from North Dakota State this weekend, who, by the way, has a
bunch,
a great group of guys and coaches, and a lot to be said for that. And I think that it was a regional that went off really well, not only from the teams that were here, but I think it was run really well this weekend.
Yeah, it was. And that was one of the sentiments that not only TV personalities, but also the managers themselves had talked about, that this is one of the smoothest regionals that they've been to. I almost kind of feel like it felt a little posh to them too, from what they're used to playing in, and then coming into the confines of Baum Walker and seeing what type of a first-class operation Arkansas has here. It just kind of made the blows a little bit easier for them to be knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah, it was tough on them, but North Dakota State does have a great 5,000-seat stadium that they built not too long ago for, I thought, to do $30 million, which is, for their size is a great arena. They have great sports programs, obviously, in all of the Dakotas. We see that the success they have on the football field, basketball field, baseball field. But yeah, it was a nice run, just a nice thing that went off this weekend. We usually have some more excitement than that. If Tennessee closes this game out, I imagine we'll have some. I mean, the Wake Forest and Tennessee players and coaches and all that have been barking at each other, and the buddy Wes Rucker, who follows, who covers Tennessee, was talking about, hey, just watch. If you wanted violence, you might be getting some tonight.
Yeah, I've always kind of posed this to some folks, a couple group messages that I'm in. Which one's harder, knocking a college baseball team out of a final or a regional, or closing a 7-game series in the NBA? Because you're going to get multiple attempts and everybody's fighting for their lives. I really feel like those, and I know this kind of it's kind of an almost not fair comparison, but when you kind of think about it, even on the amateur level versus the professional level, there's multiple attempts where you're having to knock these guys out, and you don't want to give somebody an edge, because if you do, they're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I guess we could ask Stephen A. Oh, wait, they didn't get to the game again.
I was hoping you'd catch that.
And obviously his team did do a great job at knocking my Celtics out. But man, they celebrate like they did something. I mean, getting to the Final Four for the first time in 25 years. Congratulations. Hang a banner.
The only banner they're going to be hanging are participation trophies at this point, because, making it to the conference finals is great, but I mean, you don't want to just get there and then bow out like they did. But
all of my Celtics, of all of my Cowboys, of all of my Cardinals, I do not have a National League Championship round, a Eastern Conference final shirt. You don't get those. You win, you get shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Petra? You get shirts if they win it all. I mean, I got an Adam Wainwright shirt from 2011 that's barely hanging on. I don't wear it outside, but I wear it a lot inside. And so my marriage and my shirt are the same age.
Man, hey, now really quick, we've got about 10 more minutes, so we're going to go on here for it. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, throw those up there. We want to go over this with you guys. It was a great weekend at Baum Walker. Arkansas taking the Fayetteville Regional 3-0. Really kind of the last 2 games kind of dismantling Creighton at the plate. And And I saw that Ed Service and Dave Van Horn had a really nice embrace after the game. Ed's retiring, I do believe, after 42 years, if I'm not mistaken, at Creighton.
Class act.
And he is a class act. And you could tell the entire, well, for sure those last two games, and it just may be his expression, but I felt like he was just kind of taking it all in. He knew that this might be their final run, and he had it at a great place at Baum Walker, and I felt like he was just more soaking it in than anything else.
Yeah, and as I want to point out again, just a class act. He came in. You don't see very many or hear very many coaches in any sport that come in and the first thing they do is thank the media for covering them and the attention they got this weekend. That's not something that a coach has to do or needs to do, but it's appreciated just like anything else. Had to get my shirt. My wife's worried about all these guys batting with their buttons.
Oh yeah, Georgia was having problems with those.
I'm not showing too much here, but the
only paying customers, right?
Yeah, but I just can't say enough about the programs that were here this week and how they handled themselves. And again, that's not been the case here all the time. And I'm 45 years into being paid to write sports, and I just enjoyed this weekend, not only what was on the field, but how everything went around it. And again, that just doesn't happen. And I think just like, if you're going to give a shout out to the media, we need to give a shout out to how the coaches and the players acted.
Yep, they were. And now, if I'm not mistaken, was Gage Wood fishing during the first game out in that pond?
I know that Mr. Cozile was. I'm not sure about Gage, but hey, anything to calm you down, man. Do what you like,
Real quick,
I watched Matlock and Perry Mason. Do what you like.
Big KG, who would you guys want to see ace this weekend, Root or Wood? I'll let you go on that one first.
If you're talking about if Tennessee's playing, I'm definitely wanting to throw Root the first game, and you say why? It's because they have a ton of left-handed bats, and yes, they got some hits up all in that deal, but I really would send him out the first game. That I think we'll see the matchup of the two left-handers in the SEC, or two of the left-handers in the SEC that have been really good. And I know Root's, I think record's just 7-5, but if you look inside that a little bit, he's pitched much better than that. And then if you have Gage Wood ready to go in game 2, you're in good shape. I mean, dude, and it takes a lot for a guy from Newport to say things about a guy from Batesville. That's
I was going to say, yeah, that
rivals, but again, great kid. It was great. Gage Wood shove night last night. I love the same reason I enjoy being around Tony V. I enjoy being around Gage. I like for the emotions to come out. I like for people to wear their hearts on their sleeves, and I just think that he did a great job. And I that's how I would go this weekend. I would go Root. If it's Tennessee, Wake Forest, I'd have to think about it a little bit more. But obviously, those two guys both pitched really well last weekend, or a few days ago, I guess it is now.
Yeah.
And then the key thing is, and you talked a little bit about this, the key thing is you get 6 innings out of each one of those guys, then you are set up with the way this bullpen's pitching right now.
Yeah, they were shutting down Creighton, North Dakota State. If I'm not mistaken, North Dakota State didn't score a run in the last seven innings on Friday. Is that correct?
Right.
And both of the pitchers, and this is one of the things that I know that you had noticed TV was really putting in there too, but I thought I saw you more tweeting it than anything else, that both Root and Wood were throwing breaking balls for strikes consistently from the jump all the way to the very end when they were taken out. If both of those guys are able to still locate their breaking balls and their off speed in the strike zone, fooling could be possibly Tennessee or Wake Forest, that's going to make the batters' jobs even tougher than what it probably could be, because now they're able to mix pitches, and Ryder Helfrich has been calling a superb game this whole entire weekend.
Yeah, I agree. If it is Tennessee, then obviously they are a very offensive team. You take that however you want it. Hey, shout out the Greyhounds. There you go. The it should be a fun series if that's them. Wake Forest, I'm sure. If they get out of this, come back and win this after going up 2-0 and falling 8-2, you have to give them a lot of credit. And I think that they've won 5 straight elimination games to get to this point. So they're trying to win their 6 in a row. So that's a team that shows some grit and all that. But it's just, I just can't say enough about the situation that they have put themselves in now. You get to host, you're playing your best baseball, you've got most of your pitching staff ready to go. Obviously, Carson Wiggins went ahead and had his surgery, and we'll see, how he comes back from that. But I think one of the better things I saw this weekend was Kendall Diggs get to play. I mean, it's been a lost season for him, just like the last half of last season was. The fans gave him quite the ovation.
It was a great ovation
when he first got out. And I think, I feel sorry for that kid. I think that he's going to go, a young man now, I guess he's going to go and I'm sure get a chance to play pro baseball and hopefully he'll get healthy and be able to get back in the groove. And people can't forget how big a hits he had back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And Big KG, if we split game 1 and 2, who you guys want to see in game 3?
Obviously it has a lot to do with if Jimenez has to pitch in either of those first 2 games. You could start him in the third game if you didn't have to use him too much. But I think that if I was going to pick somebody out of the mix, I would probably say at this point it would be a bullpen game. You might start one of those long relievers that you didn't have to go to, whether it's Parker Coyle, Will McIntyre, Dylan Carter. These are guys that are not names that you think of immediately when it comes to being a starter. But if you're in the third game and it's winner take all, go to the College World Series, you throw everybody out there and see what you can get. Now, as far as a starter, I myself would probably turn to Will McIntyre, but I just think that's because he's a vet and because of the way he's pitched lately.
Mm-hmm. And I think that if you do start Will McIntyre, I think that you probably maybe cap him 2, 3, maybe 4, see if you can get 4 innings out of him.
And then you don't have to use Gabe Gackle.
Yeah. There's that, and there's also Landon Beetlejuice.
He struck out 7 in 3 innings last night and looked like the old Gabe Gackle. They're gonna have enough pitching to do that, but I know they want to just go 2 and barbecue.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice, and I'd like to see the starting pitching perform that the way they did this weekend. But if you do get to a game 3, who's to say you don't trot Landon Beetlejuice out there just to see if you may catch some lightning in a bottle with him too?
Yeah, it's all hands on deck. The one thing we do know is two of the starters will be for sure.
Yeah. And if it is a Johnny Holstaff on Sunday, as you always put, I think that it's still going to cause a lot of problems for Tennessee because they have seen a lot of these arms, and there is a lot of familiarity between both of these teams. And Tony's going to probably he's probably going to pull, a guy here and substitute late that maybe Dave hasn't seen as much, or Matt Hobbs, just to give a little bit of a different angle. But I think that going into this weekend, not only the players but the staff, I think, are more dialed in, because whenever you have 2 consecutive years of really landing on your duff and you don't get out of a regional, everybody seems to be more focused in, and I think that that's where everybody's at. I mean, all around the program.
I totally agree, and I do think there will be even more. I do think Tennessee's a better team than Wake Forest. So if Tennessee gets here, I do think that even keys in the team, the fans, the coaches even more. They can say it's not a storyline, but it is. And we all know that. And Tony is a great guy. He's an intense guy. If they go ahead and pull this off, I'll be happy to see him here this week. Now, I don't keep, I've said this all along. I don't care whether you like him. I don't care whether you like me. But But the one thing that I've always admired about him and Coach Van Horn, and they do it in different ways, is losing isn't acceptable.
Yep. One quick stat, Dudley, that I have for you is last night there were only 2 Creighton batters with 1 strikeout. Everybody else had 2 or 3. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was he had them sitting on fastball and he'd drop a breaking ball in. It was the performance of why he now is thought as going to be a top 25 first round pick. And you never would have guessed that at the end of the year, although they do a lot of these projectable things on players. I mean, this is going to be the highest draft pick with the less stellar of season that we've seen from Arkansas in quite a while.
Yep. And with the whole Gage Wood thing too, with the projections that you were just talking about, and we've talked about this too. You don't understand how a guy can go on the shelf for 2 months, come back, and then improve his draft stock so dramatically as he has. But then you see a performance like that, and then you have that collective, oh, now I get it. I think
you go 97 to 99 on that fastball, and your worst one was 94. It did get hit out of the yard, but that's something. You know, everybody would like to have a fastball that touches 94, not their least fastball.
And locate too as well. But well, Dudley, let's get you out of here real quick. If Arkansas does face Tennessee, is there anything that you could see where Arkansas may have an advantage of over Tennessee?
They're playing at home, and they will absolutely ride Tennessee's players and their antics, whether it's deserved or not. You know, there's a lot to be said for hatred.
And if you all thought that
Wake Forest, Wake Forest comes back and wins this game. If they do, everybody's gonna be, let's just go win it. But I almost think that Arkansas fans, not to the level, but almost close to it, would rather knock Tennessee out pretty close to winning.
Yeah. And Tennessee is up only 3 runs now, top of the 7th. They are up 8-5 right now. But I do feel like that the folks at Baum Walker, if you thought that 2 weeks was bad, hold my beer, watch this.
And you can do that at the ballpark now, so.
You sure can. And I do want to put one more thing out there. Big KG says, appreciate you fellows. Have a blessed night. Woo Pig Suey. Texas Tech is up 2-0 on Oklahoma in an elimination game. Top of the 5th with looks like with a runner on first with 2 outs. So that's something.
$1 million Kennedy. Yeah, you got $1 million NIL for softball. I think that's a major step forward. That's the Caitlin Clark move of softball.
Yeah, it really is. And if Texas Tech wins, it's an all old Big 12 national championship. Texas Tech and Texas for the whole schmoly. So could happen. We'll see. I don't know. OU did have some late inning heroics against Tennessee.
Well, truly.
What's that?
I said, truly, they have late inning heroics.
Yeah, and Vandy did too. Until it kind of just ran out on him. So, well, for Dudley and myself, Jason, I want to thank you guys for joining us this evening, and be sure to Lord, I can't talk. Be sure to tune in this Thursday, 7 p.m. Arkansas Football Report with myself, Otis Kirk, and Dudley and I will be coming back to you next Monday at 7 p.m. So, y'all,
Dole has entered the chat.
Oh, he wasn't. He was serious about them spikes. Then
time to close, I guess.
It looks like it, because it looks like it might be getting a little bit out of hand there. 1 out or 2 outs with 1 on there. So we'll have to see where that goes. So y'all take care this evening and go Hogs.